Ahoy there, listeners, and welcome to the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammy, and I will be your captain on this journey, and I'm joined, as always, by Chief Goat Wrangler, John.
Well, yeah, it is one of my... It's actually... you make a lot of these roles up, but that is actually something I've genuinely done in the past.
Yeah, totally. And, well, I mean, it's like quite a rare skill to have on board the ship, and whenever we perform our satanic rituals,
Which is
need
often
to wrangle the goat, obviously.
Yep.
It depends what goat we've got in town. If we actually have Black Phillip himself in town on the boat, then he doesn't need much wrangling. He knows exactly what the score is because he is Satan.
Indeed.
If it's just one of the lesser goats, then they don't really know what's going on. They get quite upset about being on a ship as well. It's not natural territory for a goat.
No, I mean, upset is an understatement, I would say.
Especially when you see what we're going to do to them.
Yeah. In fact, some of them prefer it to just being on the boat. They're just like, oh, fuck it. I think I'll take this over being on a boat for goats and boats.
Goats and boats. Obviously, flashing back, one of the most memorable scenes in a film throughout all the actual physical meltdowns that we've had over the years. One of my favourite moments was when we watched Island of Death,
yes.
The famous goat scene in that.
Yep, hell of a goat fucking.
Which led to quite a lot of shocked shouting in the house. Yeah, classic.
There's been kind of an undercurrent of goat chat levelled at you since. Every time a goat comes up in conversation, which is surprisingly often.
It's weird. It is weird.
Well, Doc's a big fan of goats, so
Doc loves goats, and he's always sending funny like videos of small goats, and like baby goats, fainting goats, goats on bouncy things, goats on balls,
goats with gout,
goats with gout, goats with oats.
If you can get a picture of goats and stoats, that'd be fucking tremendous. I love a stoat.
Goats and stoats. Goats spending groats.
Goats stuck in moats.
But it's just funny that all these things that rhyme and goats do not like boats.
That's weird, isn't it? They're like every other version of a rhyming word with goat other than boats.
Exactly. I could hate a boat.
It's so complex.
Anyway, are we going to date this?
Yes, let's do that.
We're sadly,
in these days of lockdown, I always have to check.
Yeah.
But we are recording on Wednesday, the 20th of May.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah, I was...
and that's 2020, just in case this rumbles on to the 20th of May, 21.
It could be. Do you know? It could happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I was sending... In fact, I'd sent them to you guys as well. I was barbecuing quite an array of langoustine today.
Yeah.
Quite extravagant.
Very extravagant.
And having a glass of ice cold wine as well. And one of my colleagues that I'd said that to said he accused me of being a bit extravagant for a Wednesday night, and I genuinely was like, "Oh fuck, it's like it's Wednesday, is it?" I think I had no idea.
Yeah, we seem to eat by what the weather's like at the moment. Days don't really become a thing. I find myself roasting things on a Thursday. It's just like fucking the world's gone topsy turvy.
Yes, totally. The world's gone mad. I mean, obviously, all of our listeners will know that we're from Scotland.
Yep.
Unless they're maybe just confused and think we're just speaking a foreign language.
I think it's a fair shout to say a lot of our listeners are just confused.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I
mean, they've managed to bumble their way into one podcast. They don't know how to delete it from their phone, and they keep getting updates. It's a shame they don't even like horror films, and they hate Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, it's
mad
Brexiteers, but they still can't stop listening to it.
Here we are in Scotland. We've had an Arctic blast. For the last sort of week or so. Freezing cold weather, icy cold, heating on, whole shebang. Today, unbelievable.
Yep.
22, 23 degrees, I think they said it was here.
Yep.
Already, classic Scottish behaviour. I'm quite heavily sunburnt.
Yep.
I've got very scarlet arm. I put on sun cream very badly, and I'm now quite severely. You've got quite a red face. I've
quite
got
a red face.
Yeah, totally.
That's my own fault because I took the kids out for a walk today, and classic. It's the classic. You get them lathered in sun cream and then completely fucking forget to do yourself. So I mean, I'm not burnt, but that was definitely slightly hotter to the touch than I usually would be. I mean, I'm in here in shorts. Whereas I think the last time I recorded, I was pretty much in a sheepskin jacket.
Well, I've still, despite that little cold snap, being Scotland, the entire time that we've been locked down, I've only worn long trousers once.
Oh really? Wow, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, totally. Be full on shorts, even through the cold spell, shorts.
Wow.
Shorts with a jumper, sometimes a rug over my shoulders to try and keep me warm. But I'm stuck with the shorts. But I'm quite annoyed about this sunburn now because it's going to be really nippy tomorrow. It's totally fine just now.
Yeah.
But also earlier on, I'd sort of been whinging to you guys that you were all talking about what delicious beers you'd ordered and stuff, and I was like, well, I don't even have any beer in the house.
Mm.
Not technically true because I've got a case of breakfast beer, but it's only 2%. Yep. It doesn't really count as beer.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? You can't really even get a buzz off it.
No, I mean, I've up until we started recording, I've been drinking the Ashfield Original Bitter, which is available from Tesco, weighing in at a lofty 2.1%.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I bought 16 of those the other day, just because I was getting slightly carried away with this online booze ordering. And I was like, before this whole happened, I was drinking like loads of these 2% things. And then I just slowly started to drift.
Crank it up a notch.
And then I was just like, shit, I need to try and get this
You're
back on
onto
track.
6%ers now.
Yeah, classic 6s. A sneaky B7 here and there. Forget, when you've forgotten like how or when you went to bed on a Tuesday, you need to fucking look at yourself.
Totally.
So try to rein it in a little bit.
You've got a small child badgering you for breakfast in the morning.
And it's not even
saying,
yours.
Why are we not doing homeschool yet?
Yeah, I think I lost the room about 10:30 when it came to homeschooling today. If that, to be honest. And to be honest, I wasn't interested either, so it was just downhill after that.
Yeah, the homeschooling I did today was there was a whole pile of maths homework that we had to try and get through, and the pile of paper fell over onto the floor just before I started, and I just sort of picked it up and sort of shuffled it together. And the very first page we did, I was like, "Fucking, that's actually pretty hardcore." Like, I'm gonna have to write down some of this as well. And then it wasn't until about halfway through the lesson that I realised that the pages they weren't numbered so much, but they've got like a number of stars on the bottom, and you start off with the pages with 1 star on them and work up to the pages with 3 star. I just started on the bonus round of the 3-star section. Straight in there.
Known to the homeschooling public as the killer.
Oh man, Esme was totally pissed off. She was like, "What? This is really confusing." I was like, "Yeah, it is quite confusing, but never mind. Let's get on with it."
Yeah, and I do get that sometimes now and again, because numbers and me don't mix in general. But
same here. Terrible.
So even some of the stuff that Alexander's looking at, and bear in mind he's in primary 2, I'm just like, hang on, what's this?
Man, it's really bad. Like primary school maths, and I'm like, I know how to do this, and I can tell you the answer, but I don't know how they want you to do the working for it. Yeah,
Alexander's quite complex in that way because he's not keen at all on showing his working. He just likes to do it in his head. So I can't tell how he's getting to a certain thing because he looks at some usually it's subtraction. Subtraction's his confusion point at the moment. Well, fair enough. If it's like if someone said to you, what's 78 minus 23? Actually, no, I get that quite. But it's like 78 minus 59. You're like, fucking hell. Hang on. Just give me a second. I'll just get a bit of paper here. So he's trying to do that all in his head without doing any working, and I'm just like watching his eyes slowly cross
until running out of fingers desperately.
How is this possible with only 10 fingers?
What?
Yeah. So it's has its challenges. So that Alexander he comes up with some wild shit. He started coming out with just like statements of complete wildness. Like, I think it was last week on one of our walks, he proclaimed that he had invented jaywalking. It's like, what?
Wild. Shit, man, I got huckled by a policeman for it in like the 90s in the States. So,
you?
Shit, he's fucking time travelling.
Totally, man. It's like, how old is that kid? It's like fucking Doctor Who.
Yeah, I think 1993, New York, I got fucking huckled.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
shit,
totally.
shuffled back on.
Yeah, the guy backed off a fair bit. Like, he was pretty stern at first, but then he backed off a fair bit when he heard me actually speaking.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're not from here, are you?"
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I got a proper lesson, like side of the road lesson on, like, having to wait for the green man.
Oh, right. Wow. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Fucking hell. It's wild.
Yeah, I think it's kind of different, but I didn't realise how, seriously people in Europe took cycle lanes and stuff.
Oh, man.
Because we've not really had cycle lanes for very long here, really.
Do you remember Stevie in Germany?
It was a fucking nightmare, yeah.
He was I actively wanted to walk in the cycle lanes.
It was just, I think, got absolutely smashed to pieces by a guy on a bike who just didn't fucking stop for a second. Just, that's it. You've had your lesson. And so I've had a few like that.
How many times did someone shout, "Stevie! Stevie! You're in the lane again."
Although my favourite ever memory of Stevie, when it comes to just generally wandering around in German. It was the first time we went to Wacken, like all of us together, and we're all scrutinising a train departure board. And I looked round, and Stevie's just looking in a totally different direction, just fucking away somewhere else altogether. It's like, and
he's just going to follow you.
Remember that time we stopped at a station, and he really confidently proclaimed, "This is our station," and everyone was like, "No, it's not." And that was it. He's like, he had his one moment of glory, but it was just snatched away from him.
It's a pretty fine navigating considering how much booze was going down. I mean, shit, you guys dragged me under the fucking table. I was a complete lightweight on that journey compared to everyone else. We still managed to get everywhere.
Yeah, totally. It's all doable. I mean, everything's like vaguely figured. I think the worst time I've ever had in Europe was travelling out of Slovakia.
Right.
Because that was because we had gone to Slovakia, but we had to get a train to Austria to the festival. Sounds convoluted, and it was. But if you tried to speak to anybody in the ticket office, they just didn't even acknowledge you. So I did not know the mother tongue, so I spoke to them in English. They just looked at me until I went away.
Like you.
I was like, right, okay.
That's what most people do, though. Even
yeah,
here.
True. Yeah, maybe you should have said dock up there.
Shit. Well, talking about boozing while we were away and stuff, I'd said I wasn't going to drink at all today, and
there you go.
Failed. We didn't have any booze in the house. We then, Marianne picked me up. So our local shop, the only light beer they've got, or light sort of in terms of alcohol content, the only light beer they've got is a Bud Light, which obviously is a terrible beer, but if it's ice cold, is doable in the sun.
Yep.
So I had a few of those, and then we had all these langoustines delivered. The fishermen of Dunbar can't get rid of their langoustines. What a problem to have, eh?
I know, totally.
For people that are nearby. I mean, we got 2 lobsters and 2 kilos of langoustine. Absolutely wild. Two lobsters for 15 quid.
Jesus Christ.
But so then it was like, well, we need to get some wine.
Obviously, can't fuck about.
So we got some wine, so ice cold wine, and then Marianne was like, oh, we can't. So, obviously we've been raiding the in-laws' wine stash while they were away, but we can't do that anymore. It's kind of a source of embarrassment now, so Marianne refused to go and get any more from that. So instead, she texted all our neighbours and asked if anyone had any spare wine. One of our neighbours climbed over our back fence on a ladder to deliver a bottle of wine. Socially distant still. But he climbed a ladder up into our back garden. And our other neighbour came and left now get this, is an absolute classic, a half bottle of Black Tower
Oh, wow. That's one of the best things I've ever seen.
So they were all kicking into action. How jakey can you get?
Fucking amazing.
Texting the neighbours to ask. So we swapped probably about a half dozen barbecued longestine for this half bottle of Black Tower.
Fucking hell, they did well out of that. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, I would have driven down with a half bottle if I was going to get six things.
Shit, I'm going to drink this as well, though. You know that.
Of course you fucking are.
As disgusting as it is.
Maybe it's a time to breathe. It could be a different beast.
Well, it might do actually. It's called. You want to see what grape it is, but it doesn't tell you. It just says smooth red, soft and fruity.
What kind of grapes are those? Red ones. Okay.
Totally. Should we go into the movie?
Yes, I think it's good. I think we rambled massively before we got into Lords of Chaos, and this is no different. I think mainly because I think we all probably not a huge amount to say about the film.
Well, that's true, but I'll be interested.
I'll let you give it a shot.
All right, okay. So our last film, as you just mentioned just there, was Lords of Chaos. Death metal movie, bunch of Satanists.
Black metal. Shit, man, they'll come after you. They'll come after you.
Shit.
That's you marked. You're marked.
Oh, man.
Fucking hell. It's a guy.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. All you right wing black metal fans.
They're going to be marked. Should I get right? Cammy's address.
No. So we linked it on the chain with Satanism. And Satanic Panic from 2019.
Which is a great name.
It's a great name for it. We both were teenagers when the whole world slipped into a brief bout of satanic panic in real life.
Yep.
I guess. There was lots of sort of satanic cult rumours everywhere. Music was full of Satanists. There was all these like mysterious cults that turns out didn't exist. Lots of child abuse that possibly didn't happen. There was no organised Satanists. Anyway, a lot of flashback to that, I guess, in terms of the name. But here we go. I'm going to go for the little letterboxed approach.
Let's do this.
Here's the summary. A pizza delivery girl is suddenly in for the fight of her young life when encountering a group of Satanists in need of a virgin to ritually sacrifice.
That it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, bang on. I mean, it's fairly bang on, isn't it? I mean, would you pick up in the video shop? Maybe. Anyway, directed. So it came out last year, 2019. Directed by Chelsea Stardust. Is that a real name? Can't be real enough. Real name, can it?
I don't know.
Chelsea.
I've not really looked at her actually.
Yeah, she's got very pink hair.
Yeah. I think I did say. Oh, bloody hell! So she does. I think that's a natural colour.
Yeah, I think she was born like that. Yeah,
perfect.
Totally. Yeah, it's beautiful. And the thing I would say about this film to start with was I was a little bit confused about the release of this because it's obviously it's on Arrow Blu-ray.
Yep.
But I think Arrow did this go to the cinema at all over here? I was wondering if Arrow had cinema distribution for this as well, but
they might have shown it a couple of places, but I can't imagine they would have.
Yeah, I can't have had it by a wide distribution, really.
No.
And I think this is the first time ever that both of us have hired a film.
Certainly, to watch it. Yep. Well, usually, maybe one of us has had it, another one hasn't, or to think. Yeah. Try to think. What's its face? You had the Blu-ray and I watched it on Shudder. I can't remember, what was it? Only a few episodes ago.
Was it Lords of Chaos?
No.
Fuck knows then. Who knows?
It was Mental. I remember that. The artist.
Climax.
That's that. No, before that.
Oh, really?
It was a listener recommendation from Bobo Balti.
Oh yeah, Bless.
That's the bad boy. Yep. So I think
Bless.
Well, I didn't even technically rent it. I signed up to a free trial of Shudder, so I don't think that even really counts. But
Yeah.
but yes, so that was the other one. But yeah, this is the first time we've gone in and dual rented.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that usually I always try and get hold of the Blu-ray. I was quite keen on getting the Blu-ray for this, even though I hadn't seen the film before, and just because in general, I've got too many Blu-rays. I've got loads of films I've not watched. Like, I buy Blu-rays and then they sit on the shelf forever. It's a terrible affliction. I mean, I'm sure it's like something that lots of us do. I've got loads of records that I've never listened to as well. It's terrible. But I went online, had a look for this. So on the Arrow, when we decided to do this, we just missed the Arrow sale.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was in the Arrow sale or not, but Arrow were selling this for $18.99.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's too big a gamble.
HMV had it for $8.99,
right?
But they were out of stock.
HMV are like really bad like that at the minute. Well,
stock coming soon, it said.
Yeah, every time I click on one of their emails, it's got like a 2 for whatever it might be. The new one is like 2 4Ks for like 25 quid or whatever.
Yeah,
and you go in and look at it, like they're all out of stock. Almost all of them. Right, totally. Okay.
Well, I wonder if they're using that as a way to get people to buy things, to get the money to actually buy the stock that they need to send out.
Maybe they're kind of looking at it almost like a pre-order of some description, and they'll get the stock when and if maybe. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's certainly not. Yeah, nah.
Well, we do. I've got a pre-order in with HMV actually, because I do like to try and support HMV since I've been through so much trouble. And I've got a pre-order in for The Woman.
So do I.
That should be coming any day soon, I think.
I think it got delayed.
It got delayed a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's now the 25th, so next week.
Well, we should try and wangle that in somehow.
Yeah, totally.
We could actually, to be honest, it's got a woman in it. We could just link any fucking film to that.
That's true. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Apart from
I'm just pouring myself some Black Tower. God, this might go badly.
I'm waiting for the first reaction.
So I did try. HMV didn't have it in stock. Zavvi didn't even have it in their catalogue at all. A few other places I tried just either didn't have it, or I think even Amazon initially, when we first looked, had it for $7.99 but was out of stock, and then when I went back to look again, and I actually don't use Amazon anyway, but I was just using it as a gauge of price, it'd gone up to $18.99 again. Right. And then I did actually rent this on Amazon because my lovely wife Marianne had taken out a month's. I think we had to get something delivered to somebody through the business, and so she took out a month's free trial of Prime,
right,
to get the Prime delivery. So we had access to the app again. So I rented Satanic Panic from Amazon for the princely sum of 99p.
Yep, absolutely mental.
Did you do the same?
Yep, exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, every other
believe it when I saw it in the bring it up. Yeah, Google had when I googled
$3.49 or something.
Yeah, and then YouTube or whatever was $3.49, and then Amazon, poof, almost free. So okay.
Yeah, mad.
Although slightly annoying, it wasn't in Arrow's online selection, as I'd taken out a 30-day free trial with them, like not a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's 99 pence. What the fuck am I talking about?
Exactly, 99p. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That was it.
It's absolutely nothing.
Except when we decided to watch it after we'd done one of our lockdown meltdown viewings.
Yeah.
My kind of fear was like, oh man, what if I just get tired and I can't watch it?
You did, and you don't go back to it in 40 hours.
Yeah, and I was like, well, it's only going to cost me another 99 pence if that happens,
yeah.
I guess.
Totally. So we both of us, we watched this basically simultaneously, and we came to it after watching Chucky 2 for our lockdown meltdown group screening. Chucky 2? It's not really Chucky 2, is it?
Child's Play 2. Yep.
Yeah. Which was good fun. And actually going into this, I'd had a couple of beers and I thought, this might be quite fun, and it really wasn't very much fun. But will we get...
Let's crack into it.
I mean, there's pluses and there's minuses, I guess.
Yeah, I think overall it was quite a difficult watch for me overall. Not horribly difficult, but as you say, it's like, I mean, you look at the name, you look at the front cover, and it it just looks like a riot. And it does sort of fall short of riot status.
It's not really a riot at all, is it? And I was thinking quite a lot about this since watching it. What the problem is with films, because I don't think this is a standout. Really, I think the horror market. So there's always been a strong horror market. There's always a market for horror films.
Yeah,
but I think that these days it's relatively easy to make something reasonably slick and get it out there. And I suppose that was always the case, but I think, basically in the past it was more expensive. When you were shooting on film and stuff, it was more expensive to get something out there, and it was more of a risk. And I think now it's quite easy to make something slick, and you know that people are probably going to rent it, or you're going to be able to get it on a streaming service. And I don't know, it just feels like almost lazy or something. Like, there's bits of the film that I really enjoyed and had good fun with, but overall this film should have been fun. I would say it probably wants to be in the horror comedy category without a doubt.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
But it's just not particularly funny and not particularly horrifying. And I think the overall level of it, it kind of feels like a cheap episode of True Blood or something.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Quite a lot of the time. Like a cheap
that
TV episode or something. And it's just never quite kicks into being fun.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when it first came on, I mean, that opening 5 minutes or something, and I think I'd sent you a message, and I was like, this is not promising, because it looks terrible. I mean, fucking absolutely honking. It screams video. Like, but not many things do scream video these days, but that fucking did, without question. And it gets better, because I mean, that's a very kind of, that's a daylight scene, so, daylight always kind of enhances all the problems of making video look cinematic. And it does get better once they get into the nighttime scenes and stuff. But yeah, initially it just looked cheap and a bit nasty and quite shonkily acted, and yeah, I was fearful for the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that it did sort of pick up a little bit after that, but I mean, already right at the very start, you got some fairly stock characters.
Yeah.
That I'm just going to open the door for the cat.
You do that?
Do you mind?
It's quite smashed through the glass. You don't know that.
We've now, totally random side thing, but we've now moved the cat's litter tray outside.
Right.
But everyone just keeps forgetting and shutting the door. Like the door to the kitchen, it's going to get into the kitchen to get through the cat flap to get outside. But everyone just comes out the kitchen and shuts the door, and the cat's just like sitting, like putting its paw on the door, like, help me. Help. Anyway, yes, it's not only looks cheap initially or looks very short on video, which, well, it is, because everything is these days, but it also is fairly instantly obvious that we're talking like, either new entrant or non-actors.
Yeah, totally.
Which actually I can deal with fine if it kind of feels natural or it feels like it's part of the thing. But actually, the dialogue's terrible as well.
Yep.
It's not very smooth, not very funny, and the whole setup's just like, it's just a bit rubbish as well, isn't it? She's a pizza delivery. It's her first night in the job in a pizza delivery company, and she gets sent off to like an area of town where Satanists live.
Yeah, whatever that's called, whatever the postcode is for that.
I don't mind. The thing is, if a film is interesting and funny and inventive, or whatever, it doesn't really matter what the setup is really for me. But I don't know. It just feels like a dud the whole way along for me.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to horror, you need to suspend your disbelief and try your best to suspend that why the fuck are you doing that feeling about things. But really at the start of that film, and just like can't get an answer at the door, it's like, oh, I'll just wander into the house with the pizza. Yeah. And there's obviously something fucking going on that you should not be a part of. I mean, just quite obviously. And you're like, you just wouldn't. You'd fucking put the pizza there in the kitchen and get the fuck out of Dodge. But she doesn't, and I would like to say chaos ensues, but it doesn't really.
It's not very chaotic though, is it?
No.
That's the problem.
It always looks a bit staged. It never really feels outlandish in any way. It doesn't excite. I was never excited by it at all, at any point. It just kind of lurched from something happening to another scene of something happening. It could have been an hour shorter. You know what it could have been? It could have been like a fucking episode of Creepshow or something like that.
Yeah, totally. No, it could have been. And the thing is, there was the things that I liked about it are I actually liked the whole the whole shtick of their like Satanist setup. I thought that was actually pretty funny with all the robes and everything, and they've all been doing it for their whole life. So
that was quite nice because they've been doing it for a long time, but also seem to remain quite clueless.
Yeah, totally, and they're all trying to, I like that sort of the sort of power battles, like sort of power battles over who's going to be, the sort of usual neighborhood, like one-upmanship of people in the school playground or whatever. Yeah. Parents in the school playground. And I liked all that stuff. And lots of the costumes were like really well done and stuff as well. We'd all get the robes on and that was all great. And lots of the, it was all quite fun, all that sort of,
I think the
sort of bunch of Satanists thing.
Yeah, the design of it was pretty nice overall. It was pretty good. And, that kind of first sort of shock sequence of just going up the stairs towards the bedroom and stuff is always quite nice as well. But yeah, just as you say, it just goes through so much flatness that it's kind of hard to really get excited about too much of it.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, and the other thing, like pretty early on, they sort of like they're one actor that I recognise at all is Jerry O'Connell, who's in it, obviously of Scream and Piranha and Stand By Me and stuff, but he it turns out that I think the main Satanist woman is actually his real life wife.
All right. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So obviously, I'm guessing that the two of them were quite heavily involved in the actual making of it, sort of thing. But
Rebecca Yeah. She's actually quite good in it. I think she does really quite well.
She's pretty good in it.
Sort of bitchy head Satanist. It's like, you guys are all fucks and you will follow what I do. And they're all quite subservient to her. Apart from that one lass who is she's making the big power grab. And she's quite funny actually. Yes, I quite like that little dynamic within that group. I did quite enjoy that. But again, at the same time, it felt very kind of more sitcom sort of vibe than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I keep coming back to, that it feels like an episode of Buffy or True Blood or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I can totally get that.
More of a sort of TV vibe to it anyway. It is, I just noticed just now, it's produced by Dallas Sonnier, who's the guy who did Dragged Across Concrete and all the rest.
Yep.
Also, the other thing I noticed like straight away at the start of the film was that it's a Fangoria film.
Yeah, saw that. That was.
And they've chucked some money in. Which, do you know what? I mean, those guys should be more
careful with their money.
Yeah, probably shouldn't they? Or you'd think that. You'd think that they'd maybe have more to like sort of. I don't know, they'd be more involved in making something that was actually finally, good in the end. And I mean, not to put anyone down that was actually working on it, I'm sure everyone was working their hardest on it, but it just like the whole concept just kind of falls flat for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not amateurish in any way. As I say, that that opening bit. I mean, it's shot on video. It is what it is, and
there's some nice gore effects as well. Nice practical gore effects. Yeah. When he gets shot and I think I texted you to say, There's been a bit of fingering.
Yeah. Yes, it was not the fingering I was hoping for.
It was not the sexual fingering, though.
Or
no.
was it?
But I mean, that was all quite gruesome, and there's some quite nice gore effects in it, which is all very nice. The actual dynamic of the two young girls when they're kicking about, the one of whom's in the family of Satanists, and the other one, who's the pizza girl who stumbled into it, is quite fine, but it just all feels like very inconsequential sort of thing. I mean, it gets a little bit crazy towards the end with the big satanic ritual.
Yeah, I think that's probably the highlight of it, I would say.
I really like the headdress of the main woman as well.
Yeah,
it's tremendous. Love it with the skulls and stuff. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, I did enjoy that sequence. It's at least it didn't build very much, but when it got to where it was going, it was it left me with a better feeling overall after seeing that. It was quite a satisfying end in a way. So,
and we do get a sort of a full on sort of Beelzebub, Satan, beast character arriving to Roger Folk, and the little girl was also quite funny, that she was like a demon.
Yeah, totally.
I was kind of more interested in that aspect of it, like the sort of, the demons in hell, like what different demons there were and stuff, that are sort of only sort of skirted around, really. I think this was the sort of more, I don't really want to see loads of rich people being Satanists. I don't really give a fuck.
Been done a squillion times before, hasn't it?
Well, exactly, I know.
Yeah, all these kind of secret society films are all the kind of the same kind of vibe, and it's always.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it exactly, isn't it? It's like the skulls or anything like that, isn't it? Really, I mean, I think about to lose my microphone there. Jesus. Yeah, I would say that there's nothing very original in this at all, really.
No. Which I was surprised by. I thought there was going to have quite a lot of nice original touches, but not many to come by, unfortunately.
Nope. And I don't really have very much more to say about it than that, I don't think.
Not really. I mean, I suppose we'll have a little chat about how we watched it, I guess.
Yeah, well, we can move on to that, but we give it a wee thumb rating first.
I think so. Let's do that. Well, this is quite tough. Well, I'm going to give my watch again thumb a straight down, because I just wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a straight down as well, because the thing is, I can't imagine ever watching this ever again.
No, I'm hesitant to give it a second thumb down, because I think that's pretty harsh. I
think it's harsh. I think I'd maybe give it a one thumb down, one thumb across.
I think I'll mirror that, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't say definitely don't watch this film. I mean,
look, if you're bored, it's fucking 99p.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times did you go to the video shop and rent something back in the day that was fucking terrible?
Yeah. And you knew it was going to be fucking terrible, but you did it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you will find stuff to like in it, no question. I think just overall it falls kind of short of the mark. I mean, yeah, if I was going to give it like what would you give it as a rating out of 100? If you were going to go like a Rotten Tomatoes vibe? And actually, let's do it. Let's give it a mark out of 100 and then see what it's actually got out of 100.
Oh, that's a good thing, isn't it? I think I'd give it less than 50. I think I'd probably give it 40, maybe.
I'm going to go 45.
Will we have a look at Rotten Tomatoes on it?
Let's do it. Satanic.
Riveting listening for
totally the clacking of a keyboard. Whoa, fucking tremendous. Oh, there we go. 60. Oh, there we go. This is always interesting. Critic score of 61.
Right.
Audience score of 48.
There you go. I think maybe I was a bit low for 40, but
well, I don't think you're far off, man. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I've said this before, but when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, it's always the audience score I'm more attracted to as a measure of things. Because we are the audience at the end of the day. So yeah, we're not far off in that case. 48 is, I would say, is for me is the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're in the ballpark. So. Well, we should start doing this for every film.
Maybe we should.
A guest score.
And then we can look again. Yeah, totally.
Let's do it.
I'd be up for it. New feature. I would definitely say, look, for 99p, if you're bored and you can't find anything else to watch, then give it a watch. You might like it. Who knows?
And there's a lot of, if there's a lot of boobs at the end.
There are a lot of boobs at the end. There's some willies at the end as well.
Yeah, if you mean all bases covered.
All bases covered. There's some reasonably good gore. Some fantastic headdress. And a good devil. There's also a big sort of tree monster that's quite good.
Yep.
I would say that 99p, that's fine. But all the other streaming platforms are $3.49 rental.
Yeah, I'd feel a bit aggrieved if I'd
be a bit fucked off, and I'll tell you what, I'm fucking glad I didn't buy the Blu-ray.
For 18 quid, fucking right.
18 quid, 18.99?
Oh, no, for 19 quid. Jesus. Yeah, no, if I'd bought it for 19, actually, as it was your idea, I would have driven down.
And punch me in the face.
No,
socially
distant. So I would just chuck a hand grenade in your front window.
Perfect. Hit me with a massive stick.
Yeah. One of those massive foam hands, but it's not foam, it's made out of concrete. A real fucker to get a swing on, but I'll do my best.
But I deserved it.
Totally. You did. So we both watched this on the old streaming, both on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'll keep this fairly brief, but I thought it looked fucking great as far as the encoding was going.
Same here.
I don't think the encoding was particularly pressed. I don't think it wasn't that much going on picture wise. Wasn't a lot of particularly fast moving scenes and stuff like that. And even the dark scenes were actually pretty well lit, so there was no kind of obvious kind of black blockings and stuff going on. But yeah, I think you said in the past, like, Amazon streaming used to be a bit shit, but they really seem to have upped it a lot.
Shit, man, it looked fucking great. I thought.
Totally. I mean, if you put that on and said that's a Blu-ray, I would have believed you.
Yeah, totally. I would go with that as well. I thought that I was worried going into it because Amazon did used to have terrible streaming. I don't know if they've really. I mean, I think the thing is that Netflix really focused on their compression and their streaming from the off.
Well, you fucking have to. That's all you're doing.
Well, they've been well ahead of the curve with everyone else. Anyone else that's come into the market has totally ballsed up in that situation to start with. Yeah. I mean, nowadays though, if you go on iPlayer and put on something on 4K, it looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You go and put on like a documentary or whatever, like a Attenborough documentary or something. Looks incredible.
Well, that's it. We were watching Killing Eve
wasn't the case before
on iPlayer at the minute, and it looks fucking phenomenal. Yeah, so
yeah, totally, exactly. So everyone has to up their game, but I think Amazon did take a long time to do that, and I don't know.
I think because for me, it's like because of the way Amazon do their Prime stuff, it's like a lot of things are kind of bundled into the package. And then they sort of bundled the films in. So I think to start with, it was just like, well, that's just a thing we've added in. So fuck it, who really cares? As long as it's there, who cares? But there was
a really weird thing going on for a long time where there was just loads and loads of stuff that was like almost like bootleg quality on there. It was like on Amazon. It was absolutely fucking terrible. Like really, like, and also loads of films that actually haven't had a legal release over here, like films that are still banned, were pitching up, and it just felt like people were, films that were banned, that are, technically banned because no one's tried to release them or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, basically, it seemed like people were able to just. It didn't even seem like it was Amazon that were uploading them. It seemed like people were able to say, I want to upload a film for you to show on Amazon Prime and I'll take a cut of it. Yeah. And then they just put up, like a fucking terrible, terrible rip of, some shitty movie. So,
even the quality of the output's kind of gone up quite a lot. I mean, when Amazon Prime, the video things first launched, it was kind of sci-fi channel sort of quality films. It was fucking honking. But now they are trying to actually, compete with the others. And but still at the same time, Amazon Prime will always lag behind in a way because they don't have the impetus to really make their Prime Video as competitive as a dedicated video streaming service.
Well, it's not the main thing, is it? It's like it's almost like a bonus, really,
pretty much. I mean, it's like it didn't add any cost to the cost of Amazon Prime when it came out. So it's just like, okay, here's the thing, we'll just chuck in, and they're getting better. Let's be honest, they've got the fucking money to spend in it, so they should be getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was surprised that it looked really good. And another thing is, obviously, I kind of signed up to. It might be interesting to do like a wee, very short episode on the various streaming services out there. But yeah, like Arrow Video, as I was saying earlier on, have an add-on. You can add them on for. I think at the moment they're doing a 30-day trial, which is available through the Amazon app. I'm not sure if it's available anywhere else. I don't know. So yeah, and the quality in that is fucking great as well. So worth looking at, and even when it comes, I mean, I'm going to keep it going, I think, because it's only $4.99 a month, and the vast majority of their stuff's on there.
Oh, is that for the Arrow streaming channel?
Yep.
Shit, I mean, it might well be worth it, actually.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it is until when something's first released until it actually goes onto the service.
That'd be
interesting to take note of the women and see when that goes on. I mean, it might be part of their licensing that they can't do it with certain films, but
yeah.
I would be interested to see that.
I mean, certainly when I flicked through the catalogue on there was a reek of stuff. So yeah, definitely. I mean, man, if you're locked down and doing fuck all, then with 30-day trial, get involved. £5 a month afterwards. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it. And obviously that means that both of us weren't able to watch any of the extras at all, but just looking to see what's on the actual Arrow Blu-ray. There is an introduction by the director, which was recorded live at Fright Fest. When it premiered at Fright Fest in the UK. The making of Satanic Panic, which is interview members of the cast, director and screenwriter, which I'm guessing is probably just a EPK bit, isn't it? I think they all are really. Girl Power featurette, members of the cast and crew discuss working on a female-driven horror movie. Actually, see something we didn't really talk about there. Sam and Judy as well as another extra. Chelsea Stardust.
I like you said that. Someone didn't really talk about it there, and then just like completely moved on.
Well,
it is a female-driven film, but the thing is, I think
it's a female-driven film, but it still descended into tits and bum fest at the end.
It kind of did, but I think the reason,
which is fine,
yeah, absolutely. I think the reason I never really bring up, it's a female-orientated film is it's because it's not something I feel that needs to be vindicated. It's like I don't find it an unusual thing.
Yeah, totally. I know. It's like, mad.
There's lots of women in this film. It's like, okay, and your point is they're all actors. Everyone.
Well, I did think that it was like more. I thought that the film was still. Like nothing really pointed to being particularly feminist in any way,
which I think is a nice thing. I think that's probably why you just kind of wouldn't bring it up. It's not like they've made a point of it being a largely female cast and obviously female director. The rest of the crew.
I would like to actually see that in a documentary and hear Chelsea Stardust chat about it. You know, so. So there are a few, and there's a behind the scenes reel and a trailer and blah 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 on the Blu-ray, but. I really would. I mean, if you're a fan of the film, you've seen it already, and you want to pick up on Blu-ray, I'd wait for an Arrow sale. Yeah, personally, before spending. Actually, looking there, it's $19.99, although it's currently available for £15. But Jesus.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if I can say this about any film, to be honest. Even if I was a fan of the film, I generally don't pay more than a tenner for a film these days.
I mean, I try and wait.
Depends
as well,
what it is. I mean, sometimes it's just like I should talk about the HMV edition of Colour Out of Space was really cool. So that was a day one order. The Woman was a kind of a day one order from Arrow. Actually, I need to get my order of Dream Demon in.
Oh yeah,
because amazingly, I've taken 2 bookings this week.
No way. Yeah. When for?
Weddings next year, but
it's where you get a deposit in.
Yeah, they're both in. Both deposits are in, so
Nice.
One of them's not till like August, so fucking hell. I mean, please God. If we're not back on track by August next year, then I'll be shopping for like a cheap shotgun, I guess.
God.
Well, I'll have to steal one. I won't be able to afford a cheap one even.
Well, that's true. Exactly.
I might just have to get you to smash my head in with a shovel.
Yeah, God.
Could record it though, I guess.
I'll come up and do that. We'll do a live podcast. That'll be fine.
You could film it as well. Could do like a wee. Could probably sell that on the black market quite nicely.
Yeah, totally. Or just put it up on Reddit or something like that. You know?
Pornhub. Maybe you could have a wee wank over my bloodied head, and then it could be a Pornhub thing.
Oh, dearie me.
So sorry, I was a bit wrong towards the end.
God. I for some reason I think that
You're making me nervous.
I didn't record you doing anything bad than that. No, sorry, I just thought that I'd like when you were talking about paying full price for Blu-rays, I suddenly had a flashback to ordering a Blu-ray. And never hearing any more about it. But yeah, I did in fact order a Blu-ray last Thursday. Must have been pissed, and it's not been posted yet.
Right. What is it?
Kwaidan, the Japanese horror movie from Eureka.
Right.
Yeah, I've just not bothered their arses to put it out yet.
Well, I can probably beat that. I paid for a Blu-ray about 6 years ago. They've not even made the fucking film.
What was it?
That fucking Dario Argento crowdfunder thing.
Duke Mitchell and I both chipped in to Alex Cox.
Yep.
Wanted to do a Western. And fucking hell, he went and shot it. Got the Blu-ray, no time at all. It's just about to get cinema release in the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wild.
I'd had the Blu-ray for like a year or something.
Have you watched it?
No.
Absolutely
I will.
Classic.
It's called Tombstone Rashomon.
Yeah, I know it is. That's all you know about it as well.
Yeah, totally. Sounds interesting.
It could be, who knows?
Tell you what, it's better than Argento's film that never materialised.
Yeah, it sounded like it would be quite cool as well. Dario Argento directs Iggy Pop. I mean, sounds like could have been fun.
What was Iggy Pop going to do in it?
He was the Sandman.
Oh, that's right. It was Sandman, wasn't it? He was going to do.
Yeah.
Shit. I wonder if that's been blown out of the water because they're actually making a Sandman series based on the comics. Well, they were. It's now been it's now on hold because it's not filming anything, but that's starting down in London.
Well, yeah, but when was that announced? Not 6 years ago.
No.
Yeah, so
no, it was just announced last year or something like that. They were just about to
the thing is, I'm
it.
telling you, I mean, like, you know, I chipped in like whatever it was, 20 quid for the Blu-ray or whatever it might be. But there was folk that had like paid $25,000 to have like an executive producer or I think there was one perk that was 25 grand for your band to be playing their original music in one of the scenes or something like that, and that got bought as well. And you're just like, fucking, I mean, someone surely is going to prison for this. Surely.
It is a wild thing with crowdfunding, isn't it? Like, I got gypped on something, and I did manage to get my money back by going to the bank and getting
all right.
Whatever it is, there's some code over here, like under your rights, section 35 or something stupid like that. You can, you can say that the goods were never delivered and there's no chance of them being delivered, so they refund your money.
Oh, okay.
And they charge the company that you bought it from. So you get all your money back, and they charge the company for that thing, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. So. And thankfully, like my bank, obviously the company just disputed it straight away and say, no, we're going to do it. And the bank were like, nah, you're not going to give them anything. You're clearly not going to give them anything. So they just give us some money back, which is good.
I think, to be honest, like in a year's time, if I file that claim, and they're like, no, the project's going to happen, and like the bank's like, no, Iggy Pop and Dario Argento are both dead.
Are both dead. They died of COVID-19.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, Dario Argento looked like he was 153 in the 70s.
Yeah, when his first film came out. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. I mean, you know, in a way, he's not really aged because he just looks as appalling as he ever did.
He's like a character from one of his films.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Although, yeah, he's again,
well, he claimed he was going to be working with Daft Punk recently, and then actually it transpires that they were like, no, we don't know anything about this or something.
No, I don't think. I think what that was, I think it's quite possible, but it's one of those things that probably hasn't been inked, and so it's not. People, I think it was reported, and then someone said, "Oh, actually, no, it's not been like
they haven't signed. They haven't actually put pen's been up in pen to paper.
So it
yet.
could have been discussed, but yeah, you know how long. I mean, putting pen to paper can take fucking months, years, who knows?
Yeah, that would be fucking cool though. Our Argento film scored by Daft Punk, amazing.
Something tells me though, like create a soundtrack that is so off kilter for them, it'll be insane. Like they'll do basically like a soundtrack to CBeebies. Pantomime or something like that. And Dar's like, it's not exactly what I was looking for. I was like, that's what you're fucking getting.
Totally. He's like, is that your name on this bit of paper? Yeah. Well, tough shit, mate.
Please, I hope that's the truth.
I would love it if Argento could pull one half decent film out of the bag before he goes.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I always live in constant hope. And I see glimmers of hope in like most of his stuff, other than Dracula 3D, which was honking. I mean, just like it was just, you know. I mean, if that came on this podcast, it'd be a double thumbs down because you couldn't get halfway through it. It's like you couldn't actually watch more than 40 minutes. It was fucking disgusting. But even like his other stuff like Giallo, I really enjoyed quite a lot of that.
I liked a lot of Giallo, yeah.
First half hour, but I think actually I always find it's better to watch his films outside of cinema because I always find people go to an Argento film these days to find stuff to laugh at or to find stuff to sort of go, and when it comes to like really vocally weird.
So you're better off watching it at home.
Yeah, and just like not be influenced by what other people are. You know, people are always looking for flaws now, which is, you know, like imagine going to the cinema doing that. It's like, fuck me.
I know.
Holy shit. What a sad life. What a sad life to have.
Well, I liked Sleepless. I liked...
I mean, the opening scene of Sleepless is like...
Giallo.
The opening scene of Sleepless is one of his best ever scenes. It's fucking incredible.
It's just really like the Card Player. The only later ones that I've seen.
Shit.
So Card Player and Dracula 3D, terrible. I never watched the Third Mother.
I think if you go into that with an open mind of this is going to be absolute nonsense, then you'll probably quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might actually quite enjoy that. I also wish that, I mean, it was really nice recently to get hold of, sorry, podcast listeners, we've just got into our general little thread here now, but we have finished with Satanic Panic.
Yeah, you're free to turn off.
Don't watch it. Totally. Just after getting hold of, I think I'd watched everything so much that and it was so familiar that I ended up being sort of like a bit like, yeah, I'm almost a bit beyond that. But actually getting lovely additions of like, well, you know, Suspiria now, and then starting to think about going back to Tenebrae and all that sort of stuff has made me think, why don't we have, like, why is no one over here in the UK put out any of the more interesting later stuff like the Sendal Syndrome and
totally.
Trauma, stuff like that? Why are we not getting that over here? I mean, I know there was problems in the past with Stendhal Syndrome. I'd be intrigued to see. I mean, rape's still something that's like very tough to get past, so might be tough, but I'd still be like interested to see if someone can get it past uncut, and I'd love to see that film again. I mean, I know the computer, it's super early computer effects,
yeah,
but like I know that like that is going to look bad now, but there was a lot to like in that film, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the first half of Stendhal's fucking great. I mean, and you've got that really cool Morricone score as well. And I did have the Blue Underground Blu-ray of it. I mean, Arrow released it on DVD, I think, which I would be...
Is it uncut over here
I'd be interested to go back and have a wee look at that. I won't bore the listeners by clicking keys and having a ponder just now, but...
tap,
certainly, yeah. Certainly the Blue Underground one was uncut from the States, but it just did not look good. But I think, like Arrow have done with a lot of their previous Argentos, where I think, the case back in the day was, it's like, okay, we want to release this film. Somewhere gave you a copy of it and said, that is it, that's what you've got. So, and like Arrow they released a lot of that stuff. Like Deep Red being one. I think the original version of Deep Red wasn't even technically HD. I think it was like 1440 by 1080. But they were just given that, and that was it. That's what you work with.
Yeah.
But they've now got the kind of the balls and the cash to go and actually find a print themselves now and do it to the way they wanted it and the way it should be done. So I think Blue Underground might have tried to do that with Stendhal Syndrome, but I've not seen the new version. But yeah, I would. Cause actually, the first time I saw that was in the cinema in London. Now I think about it,
shit,
and Argento was there.
Shit.
So
wild. I think I saw it in the cinema first time round as well, but obviously not in London. But just having a look in the BBFC website, it says that when it came out it says all versions uncut, but so there must have been pre-cuts before going in. But interestingly, there in 1996, it lists it as 110 minutes, and the 2004 Arrow version is listed as 118 minutes, but is listed as a re-edited version.
Right. Okay. Weird.
So I don't know if they've been asked to do substitutions or been asked to sort of reframe sequences or whatever to get it past. I don't know. I'd be intrigued to actually go and actually track that down and see. But I mean, certainly there shouldn't be any difference in running time between the DVD version and the video version from 96.
No.
They should both run at the same, like...
Yeah, well, I think the original DVD version I had was
mistakenly uncut.
Yeah, it was released by Troma, bizarrely. And so it was cut in Britain, but they fucked up the press of it and initially pressed the uncut version. And then rectified it and then repressed it as the cut version. So the trick was, I can't remember what the detail was, but if you went into the shop and asked to see the disc, there was like something on the disc, like a colour in the middle of it or something that let you knew it was the uncut one. So I went to HMV and I was like, can I see the disc for this? And they handed it over. I was like, I'll fucking take it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the first I remember that happened with the old Warner's back in VHS days, the sort of Warner's Director series, and they put out Angel of Death, aka Ms. 45, completely uncut by mistake. Yep. And then basically what happened was it was the longest version that had been out anywhere on video in the world at that time. Like, I think basically they just put out a completely uncut version. And what happened was a recall was issued and all the shops were asked to send it back.
Right.
So it could be redubbed. And if it had been sent back and it was redubbed, they put a sticker over the spine.
Right.
To say that it had been redubbed. So it was really basically, it was the same if you went into HMV or whatever and asked to see it. But I actually had it on pre-order, so I got it the day it came out. So it was, just the completely uncut version.
Wild.
Completely by mistake. Or did they say by mistake? Or was it by mistake? Or,
was it a cunning ploy?
Interesting. Yeah, God. I mean, thankfully we're, pretty much beyond those days with most films now. They're never going to get a Serbian film past uncut or something like that. But
certainly back in the Argento stuff, I mean, man, that was the worst thing about my office break-in. Is like, the thing is, they stole quite a lot of the Argento stuff, and it was generally the worst stuff, like or latter day stuff, but so expensive to replace that. Like, I got the insurance money for it. I was like, I just can't. I mean, like, I'd bought his...
You can't justify spending the money on it.
I'd bought his single episodes of Masters of Horror. Like a German label had released them, like, just as standalone discs.
Right.
It's like I bought them, like, just like an insane completist, like 25 quid. So that was 50 quid for both episodes. And then when I got the...
Good episodes, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. Who doesn't like to see Meatloaf completely skinned running around? Fucking mental.
That's true.
But yeah, so when I put in the claim, I think the insurance company said, like, whatever it costs on Amazon, we'll take that as a valuation. So, all right, fair enough. I looked at those discs and they were like, now 50 quid each because they're out of print and stuff. And it's like, fuck. So fair enough, I got the 100 quid, but I was like, I cannot pay £100 for 2 discs. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said to you before, I replaced none of my stuff that was taken in terms of discs. It was just like, fuck it. It was almost like
do you think they just randomly grabbed stuff, or do you think they were targeting just the shit Argentos?
Well, it's just weird because, I mean, they're all on 2 shelves. Literally all the decent, like, all the early stuff wasn't taken. I just like, that's... it boggles my tits as to think. I mean, obviously, when the police came in, they were looking at the stuff they hadn't taken. They were just like, "What the fuck?" They didn't take an iMac. They didn't. All the vinyl was left. And so,
I guess it's how much weight they can carry.
Basically, the guy said, like, whatever they could probably take and sell immediately, like instantly, is the stuff they'll take. Yeah. Like he said, that projector they've taken, they'll probably sell that in a pub for like 30 quid.
Yeah, it's mental.
Fucking insanity. But there you go.
Did they actually unscrew the projector, or did they just rip it off the wall?
They must have unscrewed it, because the mount was still in, so...
Sure.
Actually, yeah. Fucking crazy times, but there you go.
Absolutely crazy. Mental. Madness.
Yeah.
Well... Shall we move on and say what our film was going to be for next time?
Do we even really know?
We don't really know. It's going to be one of 2 films.
Yeah. So it will surprise you.
We will surprise you, but
we could possibly do both. Who knows?
We could do both, but I mean, it's going to be either Hellraiser or... So we're going for... Satan Comes from Hell. That's his domain. That's where he likes to hang out. So the next episode of the chain, we're taking Link of Hell, and we're going for either Hellraiser or Hellbound Hellraiser 2, but we're not entirely sure yet. It depends on something that we're not going to let you into.
Yeah. It's not wanking.
It's not wanking.
Surprisingly.
But if all goes to plan, we will have some exciting guests.
Just say guests, I think is probably the best way to... I mean, people are going to think, oh, wow, Doug Bradley, amazing. No, not that.
Shit, did we not sit next to Doug Bradley at Fright Fest?
Yeah.
Not Fright Fest.
Dead by Dawn. Yeah, sat behind him. Yep.
Yeah,
he was there. So yes, it won't be Doug Bradley. It won't be Clive Barker. It won't be anyone involved with the film. It won't be
It'll be no one famous. In fact, it'll be no one that any of you have heard before.
In fact, when it happens, you'll be like, "Oh, you're having a fucking laugh. It's just cunts. It's just a couple of cunts. It'll just be a couple of cunts, essentially."
Exactly.
Yeah. So it'll be basically like us, but
times 2.
Yeah. Just think more of us, but one of them's got a different accent. Basically.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, God, I'm not going to... Oh. Yeah, I can't actually bring this down. The expectation will still be slightly higher than what actually happens.
We've pumped it up way too much now. It's going to be... Just join us next time, and it'll just be John and I, and we'll be talking about some shite film. Be fine. It won't be a shite film, definitely, because if it's one of those 2 films, it'll be a great film.
Yep.
So we've got that to look forward to.
And it might encourage us to actually get straightened and start talking about the film instead of leading you through this murderous ramp of nonsense.
Yeah, totally. Well, I was going to say by next time we might be out of lockdown, but we won't be in Scotland.
Nah, we might be less locked down.
We might be slightly less lockdown, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah,
we'll see what the we'll see what happens.
See what the
But
chance.
I hope all our listeners are well and
Yep.
COVID-19 free and are coping well with lockdown. And thanks for listening.
Absolutely. If you're a new listener and you're on a ventilator, just download all the previous podcasts and
Keep you going while you're puffing away at it.
keep you going whilst you're struggling for breath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay grand, people, in all seriousness. Don't fuck about, don't be cunts, stay safe out there.
Exactly. Get your face mask on when you're going out and about, get your gloves on, and exactly like John said, don't be a cunt. Too many cunts out there. But anyway, John and I will go off and we'll ramble this probably to ourselves for a long time afterwards, and we'll save you all the hassle. But thanks for listening, and join us next time for either Hellraiser or Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
Or something else
See you
altogether.
later.
Cheers to
Oh,
Snap, folks.
See you there, folks. Bye.